I'm going to be reading for 24 hours. We're going to see how many books I can finish, if I finish any at all, or if I even finish this challenge. So make sure you guys subscribe because there's new videos 3 days a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and I hope you guys enjoy. 24-hour readathons are some of my favorite challenges, and let me tell you why. The first reason is because I feel like well, I think this is like the biggest reason actually. Whenever you sit down to read, like what's the first thing that happens? You start thinking about things, you like get sidetracked, you're like, oh, I need to do laundry, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then you just like get off track, or sometimes you'll start scrolling your phone, sometimes you'll fall asleep, like all the things. With a 24-hour readathon, you are only reading when the timer is like rolling, and when you're not reading, you're supposed to stop the timer. At least that's like how I do it. Everyone has like their own way of like doing the 24-hour readathon and like challenge. But with that, you realize how much you get distracted. And when I first started doing 24-hour readathons, I would start the timer, read, and then I'd be like, oh, I wanna answer this text real quick, so I'd stop the timer. And then I would start it again after I finished answering the text, and then I'd be like, oh, I thought of something, let me scroll real quick on Instagram and see if I can find what I thought of. So I stop the timer, and then I'll start again after I look at it. And then I'll keep reading a little bit, and I'll be like, oh, I remember this TikTok that I wanted to send to somebody, but I forgot to send it to him. So let me stop the timer and send it to him real quick. And then you realize after doing all those things that you've stopped your timer within a 10, 15, maybe 20-minute time frame, 1,000,001 times, and you're not reading as much as you actually want to. So this is kind of a fun little challenge exercise, what do you want to call it, that gets me in the mood, in the zone, where I'm just locked in. And I feel like sometimes I only get in the reading zone when I'm really far into a book or super invested, and it takes me a while to get there. So I usually have to get past 100 pages or something like that. But with the 24-hour readathon, I have to get in the zone early on. So it really helps me just breeze through books and get through stories and get excited about them. And I just love that. I have so many books on my TBR that I'm so excited to read, and if I'm not breezing through stories, I'm probably missing out on incredible stories that I could be enjoying. So I have already started a couple books, and then I'm going to show you guys the book that I'm going to be using on audiobook, because I use audiobooks whenever I am working, because you guys know during the day I'm mostly just editing. And I also will be listening to the audiobook if I'm doing laundry or if I'm cooking dinner at night, things like that. So the audiobook I'm going to be listening to is The Power of the Dog by Thomas Savage, and this was actually in my video where I was going to do an unhaul, and I decided to keep this one because it is a Netflix movie, and I'm a big believer that I, personally, not you, everyone can do their own thing, but I have to read the book first before I watch the show. So I wanted to keep this for that reason, but also in this video we'll probably fill up some free little libraries just because, I don't know, I feel like it's fun to do. Not even kidding when I say this is one of my favorite videos of the month, just to film. So I'm gonna be listening to this on audiobook, and then I will be reading the rest of these books. I've already started these. I just started The Coldest Winter by Brittany Cherry last night. I have been reading so many thrillers because I've been in a thriller mood, because I don't feel like any book is gonna really live up to Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. I still am thinking about that book, and I read that forever ago. Well, not forever ago, but I read it early this month. So I'm gonna read The Coldest Winter by Brittany Cherry because I love her writing. She is an auto-buy author for me, genuinely, after reading The Holidays, and I've already started this and I'm actually really enjoying it. I feel like she's definitely an auto-buy author. She's a Black author, which I love. And then I'm also reading Greenwich Park by Katherine Faulkner. I bought this book a while ago, and then it sat on my shelf, but then I went to New York City to go shopping. If you guys haven't seen that video, go watch it. And when I went there, I was I remember that book. It looked so good, but I had never read it. So I ended up buying it so I could read it on the plane, and I started it there. And then I pretty much just I don't know, decided that I'm gonna put the other book into a free little library. So Yeah, I have this one, and this is a thriller, and then I also have Hooked on You by Rihanna Ledoux. This is a cute little fluffy like friends to lovers story, and I also have that downloaded on my Kindle along with one other book on my Kindle that I haven't started yet, but I probably will start within this video because I like to like hop back and forth between a Kindle and a physical book just depending on my mood. Also, speaking of mood, you guys can see all these thrillers right here. So these are actually books I'm giving to some of my friends at the gym to read. One of my friends, she read Never Lie, and she was like someone who pretty much was like, I'm not a reader, like sorry, I'm not gonna get into it. And I was like, well, like what do you like to do? And she's like, oh, I like listening to true crime podcasts. And I was like, oh no, you're a reader, like you just haven't read the right thing. So I gave her Never Lie, she was obsessed with it. Gave her The Housemaid to read, she was also obsessed with it. And then everyone else in the gym, like all the other ladies, they were like, okay, like we need to read this. So they started passing around Never Lie, and they loved it. And they like all literally read it in like 3 days, and it's still being like passed around. So then they were like, well, what other thrillers do you have that you really love? So these are the ones that are like some of my favorites. The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, The Last Word by Taylor Adams, Appetite for Innocence by Lucinda Berry, The Other Woman by Sandy Jones, Stranger in the House by Shri Lapina, Couple Next Door by Shri Lapina, Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, The Silent Patient by Alex Micklitz, Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, and The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, because some of the other ladies haven't read that one. I'm also thinking about putting in the book Everybody's Lying. I think it's, yeah, down here. So I'm gonna add this to the list as well, because I think that they'll really like this one. Because Shri Lapina just has really fast-paced writing, and I feel like when you're first getting into books, you like really need to read things that are fast-paced, because otherwise you're just not gonna be like interested in it. I've decided that some of these books I'm gonna keep here, and then I'm gonna like trade out over time. So like this book is gonna go, really any Shri Lapina book is gonna go, because these are super fast-paced. But like Big Little Lies, this one is such a good book, but I don't think it's as fast-paced. Same with The Silent Patient, and same with Rock, Paper, Scissors. I feel like if you're gonna get someone into reading, you have to get them hooked on the fast-paced books first so that they can like feel confident in being a reader. I like feel like this needs to be like my literal career, just being a like person who recommends books, which I guess kind of in a way it is, but I just like have gotten so many people on reading who are like, I'm not a reader. I'm like, no, you are, you just haven't read the right things. So The Couple Next Door, Stranger in the House, I think The Other Woman by Sandy Jones was pretty fast-paced, I'm pretty sure. One thing that I look for with fast-paced books is short chapters. Yeah, this one has like 2 pages for each chapter, and I feel like whenever I look at stuff like that, I'm like, okay, it is definitely like probably gonna keep people interested. There's another book that I'm thinking of. I know that I've read it, and it was pretty fast-paced. Let me see if I can find this book. Found the book I was thinking about. It's called Behind Closed Doors. It's another B.A. Paris book. And I read this forever ago. I remember I was literally scared while I was reading this, but it was so good. So I'm gonna give that to them. I actually forget about this sometimes because it's my coffee table and it's like the books are just out of sight, out of mind. But these are all books that I've read. And Still Missing is another one. It's by Chevy Stevens. It's not necessarily super fast paced, but it's definitely a book that you won't want to put down because it's about a girl who's abducted. And if you like Lucinda Berry's like thrillers, you'll definitely like this book because it is kind of crazy and wild. One thing I've been using a ton of is my embosser because it just works so well. And I found that like the more I like remind myself to emboss things like before I like give them out for people to read the books, I feel like the more I remember that they're actually my books, and I have books like that someone's reading that are not in my little library. But this embosser is so nice because it actually doesn't really make any marks in your book. It just like, here, I guess I can show you guys. So I just did this one. If you look on the inside of it, I put it like on the second page right here. And it's very faint, like it's, you can barely see it, but I feel like it's definitely enough to be seen where someone will know like, okay, this is literally not my book. It says from the library of Shaughnessy Schroeder. So this is my lunch, and it's the latest lunch ever because it's literally like 3 o'clock or after 3 o'clock. I'm eating Core Power Fairlife. It's like a protein drink. It's 32 grams of protein, so you can pretend like I'm eating like a nice hearty steak. And then I'm also having these protein chips that have 18 grams of protein. They're so good. They actually taste like real chips. They're not real chips. And I'm also having this protein bar that has 10 grams of protein. So we got, what is this, 52? So that's, oh gosh, math. That's 52, that's 62, 70 grams of protein right here. So we are pretending like this is a real meal. It is not. I actually have an Instacart order on the way. Because tonight I want to make steak. But you guys, I don't know if you guys even know. I forget there's like so many facets of my life that you probably don't see unless you're following me on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. But I actually do like lifting and stuff 4 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 4 days a week. So I lifted this morning and I'm definitely like hungry, but yeah, I literally like, I have some turkey in there that I could cook, but I don't feel like cooking it because it'll take longer than the amount of time I want to take for my lunch break. So while I sit here and eat this, I am going to read, and we're gonna start the timer. This is gonna be my lunch, and then we're gonna go towards the end of the day, we're gonna go maybe on a little WLK, can't say the word because you guys know if you have a dog, they will go crazy. We might do that and then like read a tiny bit outside just to like enjoy the day. So let's start. We are at 0, and now we are starting. Guys, it is wild, absolutely wild how much warmer it feels when it goes from being like, I don't know, 1 degree, like negative degrees, to 12 degrees or 20 degrees. Like, it feels so much warmer. Like, I'm actually getting hot walking this. I think it's like 20 degrees right now. That's Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is Celsius, but it is a winter wonderland out here. You guys are quickly getting foggy while I'm talking, but I decided to come out and read outside because this is a big thing I've wanted to do more of this year. I feel like I did it last year a lot better. There we go. I feel like I did it last year a lot better than I've been doing it this year, and this year I've been getting the winter blues, like the absolute worst winter blues. So we're gonna sit outside and read for a bit. I have cozy fit, so hopefully I stay warm. I just like stopped reading, but I've been reading for 3 hours and 20 minutes, and it's about 7:30. I woke up this morning because I wanted to read more this morning because I haven't been reading as much. Like last night I didn't really read very much. I read for like an hour, I think, last night. But I like to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I swear I get the most reading done in the morning. And it's also taken me so freaking long to read this book. Not because it's like bad, but because I am in the habit of like stopping and like scrolling on my phone. I'm only on page 104, so it's taken me that long to read that amount of pages. And normally I read like 60 pages per hour. So, I mean, by 3 hours I should be like pretty far through the book. So that's just a reminder that like you might be checking and scrolling on your phone more than you think you are when you're reading, and you might actually have more time to read if you just like put it down. So this challenge I feel like is such a good exercise to like really put down my phone, because there's a study that was done that said every time you get distracted from what you're doing, it actually takes 20 or 25 minutes to, like, for your brain to get back into the zone of like doing what you're doing. So every time I'm like checking my phone, even if I'm stopping the timer on the on my phone, I like when I get back into my book, it takes like time for me to like remember, okay, where was I at? Like what was I reading? And like to really get engaged in the story. So I'm hoping that now I've kind of like gotten into the groove that I can like get back into the same like typical pacing that I would for reading. But the book is really good. Let me show you guys outside, just to show you like the winter wonderland before I like get into how I'm feeling about the book. This is how it looks outside in our backyard, and it is literally a winter wonderland. I think it's so pretty. You can see our dock, and then you can see our neighbor's dock and the big trees and stuff. It won't be like this obviously whenever the lake isn't frozen, but whenever it's frozen over, it's just absolutely beautiful. Literally looks like a winter wonderland. Okay, so this book, I'm only 100 pages in, so I feel like this is a good time to like give an update. I'm really enjoying it. I definitely, well, so before I like tell you like my full thoughts, I'm just gonna give you like the synopsis of the book that's on the back of the book. It's pretty much about this guy who and girl, they end up meeting at like a party, and they end up, I want to make sure that I'm not like spoiling anything. Yeah, they meet at a college party, and they have one goal: to feel good during their storms that are like going on in their lives. So after they part ways, come to find out, the girl, like the main character, she is actually the student teacher for the guy. And they have this like crazy, wild, like passionate night, and she's a student teacher. So obviously it's like very forbidden. They can't like make that a thing. He's kind of like a bad boy, which I don't know how I feel about that, because I love a soft boy. Like I just always have, like and it's funny because it's not even like the softness of the guy. I think it's more the like obsession that the guy has with the girl. And usually soft boys are like head over heels, like absolutely obsessed with the characters. And I feel like the bad boys are kind of like elusive, and they're kind of like, you know, keep the girl at arm's length, that kind of thing. And like, no, if you're not obsessed with me, like what are we doing? So this book is definitely good, but I think just like the guy in general, he's a nice guy. Like you can tell that he's like deep down is like a nice guy, but he is like definitely a bad boy. But he's nice to her. But I don't know. We'll see how I get into this and how I like feel more like connected to it as the story goes on. But one thing that I'm really liking about this book is that it is talking about teaching, because obviously she's a student teacher, and one of his teachers that he has is just like not super like nice or encouraging, and he kind of like he's kind of like just like mean. And like if you guys have ever been like in college or even high school or whatever, like you've had those teachers that you know are just like out to get you, and he obviously being like the bad boy like definitely has that. And there's like one moment in the book where she kind of has to like stand up for him, and he's like, well, the teacher's like, well, wait like 30 years until you've been a teacher like longer, like you'll understand like how I feel. And that like literally triggered me so much, because I remember having jobs where I would like come in brand new, excited to make a change, like excited for like to do my job, like excited to be there, and there would be these people who've been there for like 20, 30 years who are just like, they need to retire, and they hate their job, they hate everyone around them, they like think everyone's out to get them, and like just have the worst attitude. And it started making me think of that, and I was just like, oh, I hope that like, I don't know, I hope that he ends up like not being his teacher later on, or maybe he like proves him wrong and he's like, I don't know, makes the teacher like him or something. I don't know, but it just made me think a lot about that. And to any teacher who's watching this, like kudos to you, because you are doing the work of angels. Like that is such a hard job. I can't even imagine what it would be like having to deal with coworkers who don't want to be there, or having to deal with students who don't want to be there. Like, and you're just trying to come in with like a positive attitude and like make, I don't know, everyone's life better. That would be so hard. But I'm enjoying this so far. Again, I'm only 100 pages in. I think there's 330 pages. So I'll read a little bit later, but I definitely read the most in the morning. I wake up and I read usually between 5 and 8 or 5 and 7:30 or 5 and 7, depending on like what my day looks like and like when I need to start work and stuff. But I want to encourage you, like, wake up earlier if you want to read more. I swear you will read so much more, because at night the day's over. Like, the day's over and you're gonna be tired. So like, you're probably gonna fall asleep. You're not gonna be able to stay awake as much unless you're a night owl. Then if you're a night owl, you like might be able to stay up. But for me, I like waking up in the morning, reading, and usually I'll eat my breakfast. Like, I had one of these like little protein drinks. I have a granola bar, and then I also have, which I already finished this, I have like a little ratio protein yogurt. These have 25 grams of protein in it. So I had that for breakfast and it was good. And so then I like eat, I read my book, I'll watch the sunrise. Like right now it's kind of coming up a little bit. You probably couldn't really see it like on the screen, but there's like little bits of pink. And I'm gonna get up pretty soon and start like going and, you know, start my day. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys a little bit later when I've read a little bit more. I need to know, what did I just read? Like, I just finished this book, and I feel like this is the book I would definitely read in school. Like 1,000,001% would read in school. It was such a boring book. It wasn't super long. It was 282 pages, which I feel like is why I got through it so fast. But I actually almost gave this book away in my unhaul, and then I was like, no, like, let me read this one because it's going to be turned into, or it is a Netflix film, and you guys know how I am. Like, I have to read the book if it's going to be a Netflix film. And I wish I hadn't. Like, I genuinely wish that I hadn't. This reminds me of something I would read in college. It reminds me of something where we would like dissect the themes and like see all like the deeper meanings and stuff, and I was not interested in it. So I'm rating this book 1 star, which is wild because it has such a high rating on Goodreads. Like, I think it's like rated like 4 stars, but this book is for the Sally Rooney girls. Like, you guys know, I have that theory that's like, you're either a Colleen Hoover, not Colleen Hoover, but like, you know the vibes, like Abby Jimenez, like Natasha Bishop, Candy Ryan. Like, you're either that kind of like girl, or you're like Sally Rooney, you're reading Babel by, you know, like authors that would be in college. And I just am over those kind of books. I feel like I read them so much in college that I just got so like, I don't know, like I don't want to ever think about a theme in a book. Don't ever want to think about a theme. I don't want to think about deeper whatever. Like, I mean, I do like to learn from books, but like, sometimes I feel like books like this are so convoluted because they want people to be like, ooh, it's like highbrow, like it's like so deep, it's so like, you know what I mean? No, just, we're not here for it. So someone will like this. I think it's like rated like 4.2 stars or something. It's supposed to be like a psychological Western. I didn't see the psychological anything in this book. It wasn't like, there was hardly any dialogue in this. I just was not invested. This is probably this is the first book of the year that is like a low rating, but it's probably one of the first books that I've ever just been like, I really didn't like that book. I can see how people would find like a deeper meaning within this though, but it wasn't for me. I figure we'll go somewhere and read like outside for a little bit or something because it's like a pretty nice day. But wanted to give you guys an update on this book because it was not for me. And also I want to give you guys an update on where we are with the reading challenge. I feel like we've gotten pretty far. I gotta find the timer. We are at 7 hours and 20 minutes, which I'm so proud of because I feel like it's really hard to get through reading challenges like right off the bat. And I was kind of telling you guys super early this morning that I feel like I have a hard time like getting focused, but I feel like I'm here now. Like I'm locked in, we're focused. But I wanna go to the library tomorrow to read, and I think I wanna go to maybe a coffee shop today to read. So yeah, let's see if we can go do that. I'm not sure how much time I'll have, but I think that that would be fun. It's time for a little update and Amazon haul. I'm going to show you guys the books that I've recently finished reading first. So I finished The Coldest Winter by Brittany Cherry, and this was a really good book. I rated this 3.5 out of 5 stars. Her books to me remind me so much of Natasha Bishop's writing. I think that this book in particular, I feel like there was a lot that happened in this book, and it almost felt a little, I don't know, unrealistic at times, but her writing is so good, you just like get hooked just right away, and I feel like it was a story that I needed. It definitely talks a lot about grief, literally in the first page, so it was nice to like kind of connect with the characters on that. And then I finished Girl in the Castle, which this was a book that my mom recommended, or she picked out for me in our little book shopping video. And I rated this one 3 stars. This is my first James Patterson book. It was written by James Patterson and Emily Raymond. I don't know how James Patterson's books are going to be, but this did not feel like a thriller. It felt more like a mystery almost. Like I just kept waiting for the thrilling part of it. I do think that a large part of the reading, I was like very invested. Like I wanted to know what was going to happen next, but I wasn't like on the edge of my seat, you know? And maybe it is categorized as a mystery. I'm not really sure. We just picked it up in the mystery and thriller section, so maybe it was a mystery and I just didn't know that, but I rated that one 3 stars. I think I already showed you guys The Power of the Dog. Right now I'm reading Hooked on You by Rihanna Ladeau. This one's taking me a little bit longer to get through because the words are so tiny, so I've been reading this on my Kindle and I'm on page 167. And I'm also reading Greenwich Park, which one of you guys over on Instagram, whenever I showed you guys I was reading this, you were like, oh my god, that book is just so weird. And I'm like, cool. Cool, what a great pick for me. And I'm only on page 17 of that. And then I am also gonna start Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up. I'm only like on page 2 of this. I literally have barely even started it, but I have heard that this book is really good and I can't wait to read it. I also have a book haul that I wanna open with you guys. You guys know that I am just like constantly reading book after book after book. So of course I have to buy book after book after book, and one thing that I really wanted to do this year was to make sure that I'm buying books that aren't like books that a lot of people talk about. So all 3 of these books are books that I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about, just because like, I don't know, they aren't super popular books. So the first book that I have in this little stack is called Work Song, and this is by Danielle Allen. I love Danielle Allen's writing. She wrote Continuum, which I really, really enjoyed. And this says, when society tries to put you in a green box, knock the walls down, Tabby Green. You have a pretty face is such a backhanded compliment. It's like telling me that my face is beautiful, but the rest of me is not. Despite what society says, my curves are hot. My love life, on the other hand, is not. My mother says I'll never find love because of my weight. My sister says I'll never find love because of my personality. My almost fiance says I'll never find love because I'm incapable of loving anyone. My mom and sister are full of it, but my ex kind of has a point. At 27 years old, I've never been in love. I date a lot, yet sparks never fly. But when I experienced the heart-pounding, skin-tingling feeling for the first time, I didn't think it would be caused by a guy I've never met. And I dang sure didn't think he would end up holding my future in his hands in more ways than one. And it doesn't say dang, by the way, so just keep that in mind. And then I also picked up Broken Clocks by Danielle Allen. This is another book by her. Again, I really like Continuum. There's so much dialogue in that book, and I don't really remember what the book is like specifically about, but I remember having such a good time with it, so I wanted to read more from this author. On the back it says, according to Grandma, in any given situation, there are only 2 opportunities for perfect timing. I fell for William Grayson in a matter of minutes. The connection between us was undeniable, but our timing was off. I was dating someone, and by the time I was single again, he was taken. And a year later, when we finally got together, it was clear that we were soulmates, but circumstances out of our control cut our time short. When we were a little older, a little wiser, and when our paths crossed again, I was entering a new phase of independence in both my career and my life. He was growing professionally, and moving to a new city. And even though our timing was off, it was still clear that we were soulmates, but for the second time, circumstances out of our control cut our time short. My grandma was a wise woman, but my love life taught me that there's no such thing as perfect timing. There's just timing, because nothing is perfect. There's just right now, because tomorrow isn't promised. For as long as we know each other, William and I just wanted to be together. It was as simple and as complicated as that. I picked that up, and the last book I picked up is Please Excuse Our Confusion by Jasmine Cartwright. I don't know who I heard about this book from, but the cover looks really good, and on the back it says, what would you risk to protect your secrets? Bowie Monroe knows a lot about keeping secrets. She's been helping her boyfriend, in quotes, keep his secret for the past 3 years. A devoted friend, daughter, and girlfriend, with quotes around it. Everyone can count on Bowie to come through in a pinch. When she isn't harboring other people's secrets, Bowie is hiding secrets of her own, despite being abandoned on the day she was born. Bowie has had a decent life with her quirky adopted parents and inseparable trio of friends, but there are blanks in her history that she desperately wants to fill, so focusing on everyone else's problems distracts her from drowning in her lack of identity. And then Bowie meets Jonah. Cool, confident, supportive Jonah invades Bowie's heart and inspires her to confront her insecurities. Her relationship with Jonah is good for Bowie, but bad for the skeleton she's hiding for others. As Bowie fights to balance her commitment to her friends, parents, and now Jonah, she's constantly ignoring her own needs. When the secrets and lies begin to close in on her, Bowie must fight to find her voice and face her biggest obstacle, herself. In her debut novel, author Jasmine Cartwright weaves a heartwarming and witty tale of self-discovery, sexuality, identity, and what it means to be a true friend. This looks so good. So these are all the 3 books that I have in my haul and all the books that I have read and I am about to start reading. I'm on page 249 of Mickey Chambers' Shakes It Up, and it is really cute so far. I've heard a lot of people talk about Mickey Chambers' Shakes It Up, and I don't know, there's something about, oh, also my salad, by the way, this is what I have for lunch most days. I'll have ground beef in here, sometimes turkey, sometimes this time I have smoked sausage, but I put rice, onions, spinach, tomatoes, and peppers in it, and I mix it up with just a tad bit of Chipotle ranch. It is so good. It's like a makeshift kava bowl kind of, but anyway, so I have heard a lot of people talk about this book, and I don't know, just I feel lately I've just been getting in my head about cartoon covers. If there's cartoons on the cover, I'm is it gonna be a fluffy read that's just fun, or is it gonna be something that's deep and that I really call 5-star read or whatever? And I do think that 3.5, 3-star reads are needed. And they're just fun, there's something to pass the time. I don't think that that's a bad rating, but right now, I need a 4 or a 5-star rated book. After reading Into the Dark, I feel getting out of a book hangover is so hard, especially if you keep reading books that are in that 3.5, 3-star rating, because it almost reinforces that thought that you're never gonna find anything that is as good as the other book that you absolutely loved. So I don't know. Also, this is from Fairlife. It's their Core Power chocolate milk. Literally has 42 grams of protein. Guys, I was not eating enough. I like to lift 4 days a week, and then I just added in Pilates 2 days a week. And I was so tired at the gym, and I've been adding in more protein. I feel a million times better. So if you're someone who works out kind of consistently and you've just been feeling exhausted at the gym, really try seeing if you're getting enough protein. I think you're supposed to get the amount of protein that your whatever your weight is, you're supposed to get close to that. I love this, but I'm gonna finish this, let you guys know what I think, hop into another book, give you guys my thoughts. I feel like this reading challenge is going by really fast. I'm on my lunch break right now, which is why I'm eating lunch. But right now I am at 2 hours and 4 minutes. You guys can see, I don't even think I showed you guys the last time how far I was in this challenge, but I'm like pretty close to being done. So I only have like 2 hours left. I feel like I'll finish this by the time that I'm done with those 2 hours, and maybe finish like another book so I can give you guys my thoughts. Because I'm pretty close to being done with the book by Rihanna Ladeau. So yeah, well, let me finish this book and then give you guys some more of my thoughts.
It's 1 a.m. and I ain't tired. I can stand right here and talk all night if you want. I ain't got no place to be, no one's waiting for me. I won't lie, I'm into you. Got like a million ideas what we could do, cause I'm not.
We're coming up on the end of our challenge, and I think it's kind of cool because, I don't know, I just read so many good books, but this is where we're at. I just got done sitting in Wild Wellness, and I got like a little smoothie. I'm almost at 23 hours, so we did end up finishing. Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up, and this book was really cute. I couldn't decide if I wanted to rate this 3 stars or if I wanted to rate this 3.5 stars, but I think I sat at, let me double check before I share this. I just updated my Goodreads. Make sure you guys are following me there because I update it pretty much every week for the most part, because I feel like, I don't know, if I didn't update it I would literally forget. But I rated this one 3 stars, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to go between 3 stars or 3.5 stars, but I think what put this at 3 stars and not 3.5 stars for me was I needed a little bit more banter and dialogue. I loved the dialogue and banter that they had in it, but I feel like it just didn't have enough, but it was super cute. I can also see that this is like gonna be a story that's kind of forgettable, which usually, like, if I rate something 3 or 3.5 stars, like, that means I enjoyed it. Like, it's mid, like, it's good, like, it's not bad. Like, 3.5 star rating to me is, like, it's mid, it's good. Like, and I feel like a lot of fluffy romances kind of fall into that category because they're just cute. You know, like, when you watch a Hallmark movie, like, what do you watch a Hallmark movie for? You literally watch it for the vibes. So, I feel like this book was definitely that. It was really enjoyable. I found myself, like, just, like, laughing, and it was really good. I do wish there was a little bit more dialogue, but overall it was really cute, and I'll definitely be reading more from this author in the future. I think that it's very rare for me to like step out the box and find an author that is like new to me and just like absolutely fall in love. Sometimes I feel like I have to read like one more book from the author to really understand their writing style. But then sometimes I just like really am obsessed with them. Like I read Brittany Cherry's book, The Holidates, and rated that 4 stars because I just was obsessed with her writing. So I think over time, as I read more and more books, I have become like not pickier with my ratings, but just like I know what I'm going in. Like, I know what I'm getting into when I read a book. So, like, whenever I was opening up this book, I knew it was going to be fluffy. I knew it was going to be too heavy. I do really like the disability rep in this. She has I think she has hypothyroidism. That's what it was. And it was really interesting to see, like, how she navigates life with that. I also really, really loved how strong she was as a character. Like there was a moment where she is talking to the MMC and he kind of like asserts dominance in a way, like unbeknownst to him. Like he knew it after he said it. Like, you know how sometimes you'll say something and be like, oop, probably shouldn't have said that. And it was kind of like that, like little moment. And she was like, excuse me, like, who do you think you're talking to type thing? And I love that. Like, absolutely ate it up. I read this really fast. So yeah, we are definitely getting through this my TBR, and that's why I love doing the 24-hour reading challenges, because they're just freaking fun. Like, and I think I'm gonna do another challenge really soon that is like a different kind of challenge, but I think it'll be a fun one, and I think it'll be the very next video that you'll see, so it'll just be another challenge. But I feel like challenges really get me in the mode of reading, and they like keep me and like hold me accountable to like read more books. And I have so many books on my TBR, and I'm trying to like read 175 books this year. That's what I put on my Goodreads challenge. I read 170 books last year, so I feel like it's very possible to like read that, if not more. But I just added 5 more books because I read 170 last year, so I figured add 5 more. It's a good goal. But really what helps me the most is I read in the mornings, and so I don't really share like that here because mornings are my solo time. Like, they're my quiet time. Like, I'm just getting up in the morning, you know, my eyes are crusty. Like, I am really soaking in just like the first few minutes of the day, and it's like me time. But I do have a couple of videos where I like did share with you guys like reading at 5 a.m. for a week, and I think I have 2 of them. And I started that actually as a challenge. Like, I started doing that as a challenge, and then I loved it so much that I've kept it up. I've kept up with it for the past like few months. So if you're wanting to read more books and you guys are like, how the heck did you read 170 books? Like, wake up at 5 a.m. I will say it's hard initially. Like, when you first start, your body will want to go to sleep, and then after you start doing it, you'll just like, your body will naturally wake up at that time, and you'll just be like ready to go. So I really enjoy my morning reading time. It's just for me. I did turn on the timer so that obviously like while I'm reading, like the timer's going, but I just didn't really like vlog it because that's like me time. But if you guys do want to see another vlog like that and how I like have my mornings and wake up at 5 a.m. and like how much reading I like read in the morning, let me know. Because if you think about it, like, let's say you have to be at work at 8 and you need to leave your house at 7:30, let's say. I'm giving you guys a good basis because I don't really know like how long it takes you guys to like travel, like where you're from or whatever. But let's say you have to be at work. Now, most people, do they have to be at work at 8? And I don't think most people have to be at work at 8. I'd say probably like 8:30, I think. Maybe 8. I guess it depends, because I feel like when I was working at healthcare, work started at 7, but then when I worked at a corporate job, work started at 9. So I think it would just like really depend, I guess. But I start my work day at 9, and I work 9 to 5. I do take an hour lunch break in between that. And, whoa, my voice, whoa. And I, obviously work from home. So I schedule out my day where like I am like editing throughout the day and like stuff like that. But I always try to just like take a little break for lunch. But those few hours in the morning of reading, like, I mean, imagine, like, I go to work at 9 and I work from home. And so, like, I read for hours in the morning. And so, like, even if you have to, like, leave your house at 7:30, if you wake up at 5, that could give you potentially, like, I don't know, an hour and a half or an hour extra of time to read. Like, and then you add that up per week. Like, so let's say you read from 5 to 6. If you have to leave at 7:30, that maybe you could probably read longer than that. But let's say you read from 5 to 6. That's an extra 7 hours. Not 7 hours. That's an extra 5 hours of reading per week. Add that up per month, that's 20 hours additional of reading. So when you think of it that way, like, it's really not hard to like read more. I think just getting up in the morning, and you could stay up late to read, but the reason I don't read at night as much, like I do try to read at night, but like that's not my like where I get in a lot of my reading. The reason I don't read at night is because I'm tired. By the end of the day, like, so much has happened. I've cleaned the house, I've cooked, I've, you know, worked, I've driven all over the world. Like, I'm exhausted. And so the minute I sit in the bed, like, I feel like I'll read for like maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes or something, and then I'm out. I'm ready for bed. So in the morning, I will say you definitely do, like, it's a little harder to get going and get into it, but I'd say give yourself 2 weeks of waking up at the same time and giving yourself, like, you know, grace. Like, if you want to go back to sleep, you can, but wake up and read just for a little bit. You don't have to read for a full hour, but wake up and read for 30 minutes and then go back to sleep, or 20 minutes and then go back to sleep. It really is a great way to read more. But anyway, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow because I think that we'll probably finish out the challenge then, and I'm really excited about it. So I started some book mail, I have some book mail, and I started a new book. I don't know if I'm going to finish this by the time that this challenge is over because I only have like, I think like 2 hours left or something. But I am on chapter 10, and so I'm about like halfway through. I'm at 141, and there's only like 200 and I don't know, like 50 pages or something. It's like not a ton of pages. It's very short. This is by Rebecca Witherspoon, and she's a Black author. I've been really trying to just like, I don't know, like, find that book that's gonna make me feel how I felt when I read Into the Dark. And I talk about this book so much because I've never had an experience where I've read something that has made me look at all other books like differently. Like, I literally look at every book differently now that I've read that book. Like, it is truly a 6-star read for me. I think about it all the time. Like, I want to read it again. It's coming out soon, and I actually just got an email, which is so exciting, from their team saying that they're gonna send out an ARC if I want one, which is so freaking exciting because I think that there's something in the ARC, like the physical copy of like the actual ARC, because you guys know I got the binding of it, but it wasn't like actually a full ARC yet. They hadn't even sent ARCs out yet because I got it in December. But actually, I don't even know if some of you guys even saw that book. Let me show you guys. This is the book that I'm talking about. So I got this in December and I made a whole video on it. It's been a 6-star read for me. It's part of a series. It's the newest book that comes out in February. Brady got this for me for Christmas, but it wasn't even bound. Like literally the back is just like freaking cardboard and the front is like paper. It's not even actual like book, but it has a little like thing in the inside from Jessa, and it was just really sweet. Anyway, this book has just like captured my mind, attention, and everything, and I can't think about anything else. So I've been trying to find another book that gives me that feeling. I've gotten so many like 2-star books and 1-star books, and like I'm like, come on now, like I need a book that's just gonna like give me those feelings. Like I need it. So anyway, I've been trying out new authors. I've never read her writing before. I mean, it's okay. Like, I feel like every book I've been rating like 3 stars or 3.5 stars because like nothing truly compares. But anyway, I'm gonna go to the library. I'm gonna drop off the book that I got in the last video and like pick up another book. You guys actually gave me lots of tips on the library that I didn't know about. You said that if a book isn't there, I can always ask my like the librarians to bring it in for me, which I didn't even think about, but that's such a cool thing. I don't know what this is. This is like for work or something. I can't show you, but I genuinely don't even know what this is. So let's open her up. Let's see. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this CD, I think mom had to have sent this to me. This CD, oh my gosh, it's called Angel Praise. And it's like keyboards, acoustic, instrumental and stuff. When I was younger, my mom would play this CD all the time. It was so calming, so relaxing. I'll link it so you guys can pick it up if you want. I'm literally gonna play this like ASAP because I love this. It has I exalt thee, he is exalted, oh come let us adore him, alleluia chorus, all of these like really beautiful songs, and they're on the CD. And I told her that I wanted the CD because I remember when I was younger, I was like, when I die, play this CD at my funeral. Like, play this CD. And I remember I used to like say that when I was a kid because I was like, it's just so calming, and like that's how I want people to like feel like when I'm gone. I just want them to feel like at peace because I'm gonna also be at peace. So anyway, these are books, but this one I don't know what this is either. I think that this is a PR package. I don't get a ton of PR from brands because genuinely I just don't want a lot of like stuff. So I don't ever really tell brands that they can like send me stuff. But this is from We're Not Really Strangers, and I love this game. Oh, they sent 2 games. Oh my gosh. Okay, so We're Not Really Strangers is like a card game where you pull a card and like it'll ask you a question. So like this on the back says, what's more romantic than being understood? And this says, you deserve healthy love from yourself too. And this is the self-love edition, and this is the couples edition. So you can like ask yourself questions, and it's supposed to be, I'm guessing, for Valentine's Day. What a sweet, sweet gift. This is just so thoughtful. I think that like this is so cool. And then they sent this crew neck hoodie, and it says, meeting you was a nice accident. Look at that. And then on the back it says, I'm so happy we met. And I love that it's like an oversized fit because that's how I like wear everything. That is really sweet of them to send that. I love that. And now this, I've just recently started getting on like PR for like book stuff. And I don't even want to be on a ton of those because I want the books to be books that I will read, like, and aren't just gonna sit on my shelf. But I do know that this is a book by a Black author, which I'm really excited about. And also another thing I told myself is like, if I don't like the book, like I don't want to read it or whatever, and like I get it sent to me, I can always put it in a free little library. So that is something I definitely will have to think about in the future. Wow, there's a lot of this in here. Holy cow, it's like a party. Okay, so this says coffee cup and saucer, and open her up. Whoa. And it has, oh, this is one of those like heated coffee cups and saucers. Wow, this is really neat. Oh my gosh. I gotta show you guys the coffee mug once I get it out of here. I don't want to break anything. But this says, read through the night. And on the front of it, literally it says, read through the night. And then on the bottom, there's like a little thing that will keep your drink heated, which this is perfect for like the chilly months right now, because it'll keep my drink nice and warm. I drink a lot of tea. I'm not a big coffee girl, but I do definitely drink tea. So that is a really, really nice gift, and I know I'm going to use that a ton. And then, let's see what else is in here. We have, this is all for, I think this specific book. This says read through the night, and these are socks. And then you can see on the back, I'm getting to the book. It looks like the book's at the bottom. And then a morning Google goggle eye mask. And it's all branded with the read through the dark. So I know we're getting to the book. It's down here, for read through the night. And this looks like it's a candle. And then, way down here, we got the books. Oh my gosh, this is from Sarah Das. This is a Black author. Let me like clean up this behind me, y'all, before I like read through these. Do you feel better that that's cleaned up? I definitely do. That was like stressing me out with all the like boxes and stuff, but now that it's clean, I love to keep my house like very clean. But I have 2 books here. The first one is It Waits in the Forest, and this is an uncorrected advanced proof, so it's not for sale. So I got an arc of this one, and then this one is A Drop of Venom, and this says all monsters and heroes have beginnings, and this is by Sanji Patel. This is by Sarah Das. I am shook. This says all monsters and heroes have beginnings. This is mine. There's a very, very long insert in here. Wow, this looks really like easy to read. This has to be like YA, right? It says 16-year-old Manisha is no stranger to monsters. She's been running from them for years, from beasts who roam the jungle to the king's army who forced her people to scatter to the ends of the earth. You might think that the kingdom's famed holy temples atop the floating mountains where Manisha is now a priestess would be safe, but you would be wrong. 17-year-old Pratyush is a famed slayer of monsters, one of the king's most prized warriors, and a frequent visitor to the floating temples. For every monster the slayer kills, years are added to his life. You might think such a powerful warrior could do whatever he wants, but true power lies with the king. Tired after years of fighting, Pratyush wants nothing more than a peaceful, respectful life. When Pratyush and Manisha meet, each sees in the other the possibility to chart a new path. Unfortunately, the kingdom's powerful have other plans. A temple visitor sexually assaults Manisha and pushes her off the mountain into a pit of vipers. A month later, the king sends Pratyush off to kill one last monster, a powerful monster who has been turning men to stone, before he'll consider granting the slayer his freedom. Except Manisha doesn't die. Despite the hundreds of snake bites covering her body and the venom running through her veins, she rises from the pit more powerful than ever before, with heightened senses, armor-like skin, and blood that can turn people to stone. And Pratyush doesn't know it, but the monster he's been sent to kill is none other than the girl he wants to marry. Alternating between Manisha's and Pratyush's perspectives, Sanji Patel weaves together lush language, high stakes, and page-turning suspense, demanding an answer to the question, what does it truly mean to be a monster? This looks so good. Like, so good. I don't even normally read like books like this, but this is giving. So this is the first one that I just read. It's called A Drop of Venom, All Monsters and Heroes Have Beginnings. The cover of this is just so cool. And then the other one, I actually have a book by this author. I have not read it yet. I forget what it's called. But this says It Waits in the Forest. And the book I have from her is actually a romance, but this is not. It says it's a supernatural thriller from Rick Riordan. It presents, drawing from the darkest depths of Caribbean mythology, acclaimed author Sarah Das crafts a sinister tale of magic, murder, and the evil that lurks within us all. I think that this author is a Caribbean author because I think one of you guys told me that whenever I shared her book. Unlike the other residents of the small Caribbean island of St. Virgil, Selena de Silva does not believe in magic. With a logical mind and a knack for botany, Selena used to dream of leaving home with her boyfriend, Gabriel, and starting a new life together far away, until a vicious, unsolved attack left her father dead and her mother in a coma. 2 years later, her guilt over her mother's condition keeps her tethered to the island, relegated to using her mother's legacy as St. Virgil's most talented and most feared psychic to con desperate islanders and gullible tourists with useless talismans and phony practical protection rituals. But when one of those tourists ends up at the center of a string of strange murders, the truth that Selena has been denying can no longer be avoided. There is evil lurking in the forest that surrounds St. Virgil. Another thing that can't be avoided, Selena's now ex-boyfriend, Gabriel, who's returned home for the first time since Selena broke up with him. Desperate to put an end to the killings and claim justice for Selena's parents, these two former lovers must race to find answers. But darkness is no fool, and evil bides its time. As long-hidden secrets about Selena's family begin to reveal themselves, Selena knows only one path to the truth remains, and it waits in the forest. I gotta show you guys these up close, but I got like a little thing. Wow, this is really cool. And so this book comes out May 14th, and then this book, it's on sale January 6th. So y'all can get this book now. Like, these look so good. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let me show you guys these up close. These are the two books in their covers. Like, how pretty. This one's like a little bit more bendable, and this one's obviously a hardback. This is the one that is available January 6th, and the one that I read first, and then this is the one that's available May 14th that I read second. I decided not to go to the library. I'm gonna like share that in my next video because I'm getting ready to go downtown and meet up with Taylor and like hang out, and then I'll probably go to the library after that. But that'll be in the next video. I figured I'd finish the last hour of reading here. We ended up finishing 6 books, and I read it like a little bit over the time. I ended up stopping the timer at 24:05, but then I definitely did read a little bit more. And I feel like I definitely read more because I just wanted to finish the books that I had already started. I didn't end up finishing Greenwood Park, but that's the only book that I haven't really finished. I haven't even really got into a ton, but I'll share that probably in another video. These are the books that we finished. So let's start with the first one that I finished. I think it was this one, I think, The Coldest Winter by Brittany Cherry. I really enjoyed how Brittany Cherry just has like writing that really pulls you in, and I feel like I'll definitely be reading more from her. I think I want to actually read one of her books every single month just because her writing is so intriguing. I think I rated this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. There were a lot of crazy things at the end where it kind of felt a little unbelievable, and I feel like their tension was kind of like not really there, even though it was supposed to be a forbidden romance. But overall, loved it. The writing was really easy to read. Her books are just really fun. And then I read The Girl in the Castle. I think that this is the next, no, I take that back. I read Power of the Dog. I think that this was actually the first one. I can't even remember. Maybe this was the second one. Rated this one 2 stars. I just think that this is one of those literary books that people like read in school, and I just was not interested at all. Like literally, if you look at it, there's like barely any dialogue at all. Like it's just straight, just like stream of consciousness in this book. And I didn't really care for it. I feel like there were too many descriptions. I did really like how the author wrote this, and a lot of publishers didn't want to publish this book, and he was just like, I'm just going to publish it anyway. And obviously he's passed away now, but it's kind of cool that this book has popped off and it's now a movie on Netflix. So that's just a reminder, like follow your dreams. You never really know like when they're going to come to fruition. Then I ended up reading The Girl in the Castle. I actually really like this. I rated this one 3 stars. I think I'll definitely recommend this to someone, and it definitely makes me want to read more James Patterson. I do think that this read more like a mystery than a thriller. It didn't have anything like popping out at you, but it was definitely like, we need to figure out this thing. So I wish I had known like beforehand that this was like more of a mystery. I think in my head I was like, oh, this is definitely like a thriller. I don't know why I thought that. But I feel like in the future, I definitely need to look up to see if a book is a mystery or thriller, because that is a big like determining factor as to whether I like it or not. I also don't really know if I even really like mysteries. I haven't really found one that I've really liked. Most of the ones that I read just don't like keep my attention. But yeah, rated at 3 stars. It was enjoyable, and the ending I feel like really tied everything together. Then I ended up reading Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up. I rated this one 3 stars, very cute. This one had me just like giggling and happy, and it was very fun, very fluffy. I really liked how the main character in this one was very strong in who she was, and she just was, I don't know, someone that I feel like didn't really take too much from anybody, and I feel like that's such a great thing to read, especially when she's someone whose parents kind of hover over her because she has something that she like lives with that is hard for people to really understand. And it was just like really good to read. I enjoyed this a lot. And I also liked the dynamic between the two because I don't want to like spoil the plot of the book, but they had like an interesting dynamic because it was kind of like a forbidden romance between both of them on both sides. So that was really good. And then I read Hooked on You by Rihanna Ladeau. This book was cute. I think that the ending really made this one more interesting than the beginning. Like the beginning was good, and then it kind of fell off a little bit, and then the middle was where I was kind of like, I just don't know if I can finish this. Like, I guess I wouldn't say I wanted to DNF it, because I definitely didn't want to DNF it, but I just was like, where are we going with this? And I think it's because it's a friends to lovers story. But the ending, I actually enjoyed that there was a trope that some people don't like at the end. I enjoyed that trope that was in there. It made the story more interesting to me. But I think that like friends to lovers trope is my favorite trope in any book, and I think you have to really do that like so well, because it can make the book kind of boring, because you're like, well, they're already friends, like they don't really have any angst of like getting together or anything. So I did really like this, and I can see myself reading more from this author. I'm sitting between like a 3 or a 3.5. I don't really know, like, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but also like I had to read this on my Kindle because the words were so small. So I don't know. Follow me on Goodreads to like see where I ended up landing, but I think that I'm gonna rate this, I think 3 stars, because I feel like I enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up, no more, no less. There were times I think I enjoyed it more, but then the middle part I didn't enjoy as much, so I feel like it evened out. This overall I just enjoyed from start to finish. Very cute. And then I read Rafe, I think it was Rafe, and I think his name's Raphael, so I think that his name is like Rafe, but this one was good. It just had so much spice, and I don't want to knock the rating because of the spice, because I kind of knew going into this that it would have that, and it's like a buff male nanny. Like that's literally what it says, a buff male nanny. So like just knowing those like words are on the front of this book, I was like, this is probably gonna be spicy. But I enjoyed this, and I definitely want to read more from her. She actually has a young adult book that came out that I ended up purchasing because it just came out this year, I think, and I've really been wanting to read it. But I'm glad that I read this first because it's her like adult book. But if you're looking for a book with spice, good banter, this is a good one. She is actually like, he's her nanny. And he is like a strong guy, but also he's like very attentive, which you guys know I really enjoy whenever I see a male character, like kind of having the dynamic of both things that you would see. Like I like if a guy is strong, but they also need to be very attentive and soft and like just both of the things. So I think I'm gonna leave this one at a 3-star rating. I really enjoyed it. I think that it could have definitely been a 4-star rating if there was less spice. I will say that the ending of the book was good because it was like, I don't know, like there was spice that was there, but like it was drawn out, which I really enjoyed. So I don't know, maybe I'll rate this one 3.5. Like, I don't know, it was very enjoyable, very quick. I will say that he was like super into her, like super fast. Maybe I will rate it 3 stars, because now that I'm thinking about that, like literally the beginning of the book, he's like, I have to have her, like I need her. Like, it's like, you don't even know this woman. So, yeah, those are all the books that I read. In obviously videos like this where I'm reading multiple books, I'm not able to like just talk on and on and on and on and on about one book, which is why I do a lot of videos like where I'm sharing just 1 book or 2 books that I've read in the video. When I'm reading obviously 6 books, it takes a while to get through all of those books. And so let me know if you guys like the 24-hour reading challenge. I think it's so fun because I feel like I read a lot more. I feel like I keep my phone down a lot more, and I feel like it makes me really intentional about reading. Challenge yourself to like read in like a new way. Like even if you don't want to challenge yourself with like a time, maybe challenge yourself to like read outside for an hour every day or something. I feel like when you make a challenge to yourself, you're just way more intentional to like complete that challenge. And I don't know, it's really fun. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.